Hi, thank you. I did run a poetry open mic for over half a decade in Chicago. It was the only one that I know of that had a podcast, that had weekly podcasts of things. And I asked John if he'd be able to check out, I'm like, I don't think anybody's like downloading features, because I had open mic with a feature every week. And so I asked him to check it out. And I said, can you find out, like computer-wise, how often they were downloaded? Because I'm guessing never. Right, like who's gonna wanna do that? And he looked at it and he said, well, after I filter out the spammers, it's probably one downloaded every 45 minutes.
Wow.
Like 24/7, like that often. And I'm like, oh my God, people were actually that interested in it. And because it was a publisher, I asked people who had features if they would donate a piece from a past feature. So I did a book of a bunch of people's writing that was just the empty stage, the chosen few. And there were chosen, that sounds like my music. I think I heard a little bit of that really, really quietly. And it has a collection of, that was awesome, cool to pull off as well. And that's where it's going. I can't hold it. But hi there. I thought that because I never even got a chance to do this, Tom, I usually do this and have checkbooks to be able to give to anybody who's interested in it. It's one I'm reading in the show, and it tells you more about me, blah, blah, whatever. So, you can see what I read them reading, I guess, as well. And they're just throwing checkbooks everywhere.
Yeah.
What's going on? Was it? It's not working.
No, it's working.
I can't hear it.
I think if you throw it like a frisbee, that's easier to catch.
Is it like, I can't hear it. That would be it. I figured, I wanted to have music behind this random music going on in the background because the first piece I'm reading for you is about going to an open mic that had a live jazz band that would play. And so I said I should have, that kind of music going on in the background behind my show. This first one is about just going to open mics, and it's called The Bathroom at the Green Mill. I'm so used to walking into bathrooms at bars and seeing, I love Scott, or I think I love Paul, but I think I love girls, scribbled on the stalls in ink. But I went into the bathroom at the Green Mill on the north side of Chicago, which hosts the Uptown Poetry Slam, while a black woman read poetry about oppression and plantations and slavery, which sounded more like a speech, but I won't get into that. I walked into the bathroom, into a stall, I closed the door, and I saw some writing, and I thought, oh, I bet this writing actually has something to say. I bet there's poetry on these walls. So I started to read, and I saw, I love Scott, and I think I love Paul, but I think I love girls. And I started to think that I'd actually like to meet the people that write these messages. And I'd like to ask them, hey, are you still with Brian? Because when it said Jeannie and Brian forever in the bathroom stall at the Green Mill, I wanted to know if it was really true and I could still believe everything I read. So I put on my lipstick in the bathroom at the Green Mill in Chicago, heard the black woman's voice resonating throughout the bar, and thought for a moment about what was on those walls, and walked away. I took over was one that started in December of 1996. I was the third host of it. Charlie Newman was the second host, and he said, you featured here since like the first year, you should be doing this. And so when he left, like the week before he left, well, a bunch of us decided to write a poem in his style, in his honor, in tribute to him. And this is the poem that I had written for this open mic host. And it's called Frozen Together. So I'm sitting at the corner stool of a bar no one ever goes to, holding my scotch on the rocks. It's scotch for now, anything to numb the pain. So I swirl my drink clockwise in my hand, watching the liquor swirling around, watch the ice cubes spinning in circles, and trying to get you out of my head. Because when you came in like something you can't escape, like that beat from a dance bar that's stuck in your head that makes you want to move together in time, or like your eyes, the color of the sky, or was it the ocean? that I could drown in. Like bright sunlight just after dawn seeping past the window blinds, forcing me to attention to respond to you. Like bright sunlight seeping its way past the window shades in this bar as I swirled the ice in my glass, now frozen together. A disc swirling clockwise, because the scotch is gone. It's gone. Like you, but I can't get you out of my head. So, this time, maybe I'll have Jack. Because now I'm going to share with you the first poem I ever read as a host at this open mic. This was the first day I was doing it, and started the evening with a poem, and I started it with this one, and this poem is called The Battle at Hand. I wanted you to know I was on a mission when I saw you, and that I was a warrior, and you were just a helpless victim that couldn't fight my weaponry, that wouldn't fight my weaponry. And I would come into town and pillage and rape and pillage, depending on how you put it. And rape is such a harsh word, entirely inappropriate for this, because I made sure that you wanted me before it was all over, because I have a knack of doing that when I fight my battles. This is how I care to think of you. I was on a conquest, and I came fully equipped with ammunition. I had bayonets, I had a rifle with rounds of bullets on a chain thrown over my shoulder. I had a .22 caliber magazine-loaded handgun. I didn't even need to use the hand grenade or the tear gas. Before I started using my tongue as a weapon with a kiss, I used it as a weapon with words, and I knew I had you won over from the start. You looked at me when I spoke, and I think you might have actually wanted to listen to me. And I would never have to resort to violence to get what I wanted from you. We seldom had opportunities before, but we made one, and we somehow made it work. And no, it was not a momentous moment in my life. It was just a moment, a conquest, a battle. And in my own mind, I won the war. People thought we would never get along, but I know better. I know there's no such thing as not getting along with me. And I know I could make anyone like me, like I did with you. You were easy prey, And oftentimes I would read things from the literary magazines that I would run, or I would read haikus, because we started from 9 till 7 at the second place, and I had somebody following me. I couldn't, just because poets were late, I'm like, I'm gonna have to start. So I would read haikus or read poems from other people in the beginning. And the last day I ran the open mic, which was the end of July, I think, July to August of 2015. I read haikus throughout the night. This is a sadder one, but this is one of them, and it's called On Ashes. Dehau's guest chambers work every morning as snow settles on ashes. But then I was thinking about, sometimes there are tough times when you're hosting an open mic, and that's why I've got to kick someone out for you. We saw the man walk inside. We didn't know why he was there. She was divorcing him. She had a restraining order on him. I know, she wasn't there, but still, he had no place here. So we confronted him inside before he got too comfortable. I hate to do this, but we think it's best if you go. I suppose sometimes it can be tough being a poetry open mic host, because the foundation of our space was that we welcomed everyone. So it's tough when you have to take a stand and kick someone out to protect one of your own without the enemy ever saying a word. I'm doing one more short last one for you because sometimes it can be fun. Writing the open mics. Should I say the title, John? You laugh whenever you hear it. It's called Ladies and Gentlemen, Boys and Girls. Running a poetry open mic for years, I started every poetry open mic by saying, Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because everyone was welcome at the cafe. Even after my Chicago open mic moved to a bar with a stage and anyone under 21 wasn't allowed, I still started every open mic with Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because I believe to this day that sharing your poetry, sharing your art can bring out the kid in all of us. Creativity's on our side, so it takes us to a mindset that although we may be small, we can still take on the world.